We done some math on it right there to get that layout yonder. I had to figure some degrees. Put them there 5/16 holes in yonder, and they done already on the correct amount of degrees, height, position. All of that's in good standing. Tapped 3 holes there in the top, 1/4 20 thread. Be sure to deburr your holes now if y'all drilling anything. This is just the central core, and I did right yonder on the back side of that thing so that it'll clear that coil yonder. By the time I got done with this thing, I thought it looked better with a little bitty little seat right there. So on the back side here, I did have to go ahead and I just worked that down with a file right there. A little flat place across yonder, so when you put it down in there, it just goes right in there. All is good and well. And we got them, when you see this thing again, it might be in use. It's a Maytag point plate positioning tool. Out there in radio land, y'all see that? I done went and built this thing. I done went and built this little thing right here. It's one of them there Maytag point setting tools. I done built it here in the shop. It's a 1214L steel main body here, and these outriggers are 1018 steel, 5/16 in diameter, and you can see that this is one of the reasons that you do not want to miss any days of school, is this very thing right here. At some point, at some time in your life, you're going to have to know something about degrees, especially if you're working on an engine, as timing comes to mind. The degrees between this angle going into this block and this angle can be calculated in the flywheel right there. You can do some figuring in there with a circle, the arc, and then figure from the outside of that to the center line. But I'm not going, this is the, this may be the 4th one of these in existence. I'm not sure. It's what I hear. It's a Maytag point adjusting tool. I'm going to read you something out of the manual. I'm going to read you something. I'm going to read you something out loud. It's a pretty good bit, but I'm going to read it all to you. Now, this is a quote from the manual there. Tool number 38018 has been developed to eliminate guesswork in determining the proper location of the breaker assembly without the aid of the flywheel. The advantage of the tool is that once determining the proper location of the complete breaker assembly, a more accurate adjustment of the governor stem screw and the speed adjustment nut can be made after the flywheel is installed. That means you can look down in that hole right there and you can actually see what's going on. We're going to do that. In other words, it is an accurate means of timing the multimotor. We're talking about this tool I got right here in hand. Y'all looking at it live in person here on the out there on the airwaves. Y'all got eyes on this. Just let this. Actually, I'm one of the very few people in the whole wide world that has one of these. Just now, at least actually, we do know that they are 2 of these tools in the world. The question, if, well, you know that show, Antiques Roadshow, if you question them about how much is mine worth, how much, actually there's only, well, this is an original one. I just made this, so it's original from the shop here. Just think about that. I'm going to carry on with this quotation. remove the magneto plate and take off the oil catch ring. Assembly number 3190. Press the central cylinder of the tool into the hole in the center of the magneto plate with the long bit finger of the tool between the heels of the coil. Turn the tool until the finger is against the heel nearest the breaker assembly. Loosen the 2 screws and hold the breaker assembly to the mounting plate and adjust the assembly so that when the tool is in this position, the prong which contacts the breaker blade is just past the bulge on the breaker blade, but resting so that upon moving the finger clockwise, the points immediately open to approximately 20 thousandths. Okay, I'm going to pause right there and I'm going to show you something. It's how this tool works right here. It's pretty neat. It's one of those things, you know, you might as well just go ahead and build you one. It's a really neat little thing to have. The tool goes in the magneto plate. It don't matter what model you got, but the tool goes in the thing just like this right here. You put it right down in there like that. Y'all see that tool right there? Oh, I hope so. But anyway, right there it is, and this arm comes around here, hits that heel up here. Right up here at the top there, that arm comes around there and contacts the heel of that magneto. And then this arm right here it is, now if you can't see that, just take my word for it. It's getting ready to open the points in a clockwise rotation, which means it goes over that way. If you turn this, the next thing that should happen is your point should open to 20 thousandths. Okay, let's just do it. I'm going to turn it a little bit. Y'all see it? Okay, so I moved it just to where that this dimension, this arm right here, is direct and under the little curve place there in that arm. Okay, now at this point, I can actually take the feeler gauge and put it right up in yonder, and that should be 20 thousandths. Just go ahead and, if that is not 20 thousandths, then what you would do is, let's just do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's just get her done. You take the wrenches and hold this big nut down right down here. Loosen it up. Get it loose from that right there. All that is a jam nut. Okay, now we can take the other wrench and we can turn that points. Either we can make it, if you turn it down that way, the gap gets larger. If you turn it this way, common sense. Anyways, you adjust that until you're correct with the feeler gauge. Okay, once you do that, then you lock this, you hold that right there, and then you lock this nut down here. We're finished. That's all there are to it. There's nothing more. You can't make any more out of this. This third arm right down in here, you see it right down in there, that thing sticking out yonder? That the purpose of that is to position the center line of this pivot right here. And that's the key to this whole thing right here, is the reason that you don't need this tool. Oh, I'm proud of it. This right here, we actually did this. Y'all see it? It's a Maytag point adjusting tool in real life. I mean, just kind of look at it and build you one. Everybody in the whole world should have one of these things right here. It's nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with this right here. That's pretty neat. I'll never use it again. I'm going to show you how to set these points without any kind of tool whatsoever.